Cooler temperatures and clear skies in the forecast for tonight, but how low are we going to go? We'll talk about it in my full forecast.
A panel of judges tosses out the convictions of 2 officers convicted in connection with the killing of Henry Glover in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. And New Orleans police plan new initiatives after another cab driver is found murdered.
Live from the French Quarter, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Woltering. Angela's off tonight. Today's wet weather is leading to some cooler temperatures tonight. Derek Hever has been tracking the cold front and has a look at just how quickly it's going to cool down. Huh, Derek?
Yeah, and it's going to cool down later tonight. It hasn't quite happened yet, but the cold air isn't really here yet in Louisiana, but it's coming this way. We're going to see things drop down into the 40s, I suspect, as we move into the overnight hours. You take a look here at the satellite and radar, and you can see that the clearer conditions back behind that yellow line somewhat representative of the front. The rain we saw earlier today, that kind of dwindled off early in the afternoon hours. Much clearer out there right now. Still a few light sprinkles down along the coastline with temperatures in the 60s. Back up to Shreveport, we're right at 60 degrees for New Orleans Metro. Still in the upper 60s right now. Temperatures at about 67. You can see that blue creeping down through parts of Arkansas. I think that's what we're going to see later this evening with temperatures falling down into the 50s. That happens by about 8 o'clock. We'll stay that way through 10 o'clock. Overall, we could be dropping down mid-40s north of the lake. Dennis, we'll get into those details in a few minutes.
All right. I'll talk to you later on. Today, a federal appeals court threw out the conviction of the man who admitted to shooting Henry Glover in the chaotic days after Hurricane Katrina. Former New Orleans police officer David Warren will now be retried in that case. It's news that is devastating to Glover's family. Katie Moore has details.
You know, I miss my child. I miss him.
Henry Glover died in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, shot to death outside a West Bank elementary school. A jury found former New Orleans police officer David Warren guilty of manslaughter for pulling the trigger. But now Warren will be retried.
To have to live this all over again, I don't know how we gonna hold up with it.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned Warren's manslaughter conviction, saying he didn't get a fair trial. He was tried alongside the officers accused of burning Glover's body to cover it up.
He did nothing in connection with the destruction of the car and Mr. Glover's body. And those are the grounds that we said that we should have a separate trial.
Attorneys say they will also argue that double jeopardy will prevent the retrial of his weapons conviction. It had added an extra 10 years to his 15-year prison sentence.
He can't get a fair trial here. So we're going to move for a change of venue. We also, of course, are going to move that he be released on bail.
Warren has been in federal custody for 2.5 years. His wife and 5 children say they're hopeful he'll at least be released until the court orders a new trial.
After 2.5 years of waiting and praying for David, we're thrilled with the decision, and it's definitely good news before Christmas for our family, and we're looking forward to going forward with this.
This weekend, Warren will turn 50 in prison. The news for them is a Christmas gift, but for the Glover family,
It's your worst nightmare. I can tell you that. The worst nightmare. I mean, this is like a wound that's never going to heal.
Katie Moore, Eyewitness News.
The appellate court also overturned one of the convictions of former Officer Gregory McCrae. They upheld his convictions for obstruction of justice and using fire to commit a felony for burning Glover's body and car. He will have to be resentenced. Right now he's serving a 17-year prison term. Attorney Raymond Burkhart III of the Fraternal Order of Police applauded the rulings on behalf of Warren and McCabe. He said regardless of whether the government decides to retry the men, the courts must ensure